Hey, what's shaking, YouTube? It's been a while. I've been busy doing a bunch of other stuff, but I wanted to give you an update on the Weld trailer I put together. As a reminder, this is a 12-foot enclosed V-nose trailer, dual axle. A few years ago, I think it's been probably 2 years ago now, I made it into a Weld trailer with tools, rigged it out, everything I thought I would ever need. Don't get me wrong, you can always have another tool, but for hooking up to the truck and taking it out to do whatever type of work, whether it's welding on a wood stove, welding on a piece of farm equipment, whatever, handrails, things like that. For the most part, I have what I need in this trailer. I can do all the welding processes out of this trailer, including AC TIG, aluminum spool gun. I have a plasma cutter, and I mean it's really nice. I have the ability to adjust my wire speed, or not my wire speed, but more my heat, my voltage, from my either my suitcase or my wire feeder, which makes it really nice if you're up onto something, or 25-30 feet away from the truck. You don't gotta walk back to the trailer. So anyway, I just wanted to do a little bit of an intro. I'm gonna flip the camera around and just go over the trailer one more time. I know it's been a couple years since I made a video on YouTube showcasing what's in it and that type of stuff, but maybe give you guys some ideas of what I have, what you could get. If you have ideas for me to make things work better, that would be great as well. So let me get the camera turned around. All right, so I don't know, if I had to do it over again, I probably would have gone with a ramp. The step up is not bad. I don't really have anything I need to roll in and out, but I think the ramp would be cool, just to walk up and down it. This trailer is used. This door I don't know if you can see it right there. I got some water seeping in right there and running down. None of the wood's soft yet, but I do got to address that before it gets worse. So if I'd have to do it over, I'd probably go with the ramp. The advantages of the doors is you can fold these doors up against the trailer and back up to a dock or back up to something. Say you're in the garage and don't have room to lay a ramp down, you just flip open your doors and you're off and running. So let me start with this. Start the back of the trailer. This is a DeWalt battery. I know it doesn't say DeWalt on it, but this box allows you to power these lights, which I ran, these LED lights in here. Really slick. With them all on, I probably get a half an hour of light before that battery drains down. I can turn them off individually, and I don't need to have them on during the day right now, because you can see perfectly fine with them off. It's nice lighting. When I come out at night, I'm not hooked to the truck, I flip that on and I can see what I need. So back of the truck, start with the main focus of the trailer. I have an older Trailblazer 302. It's a low hour machine. You can do multi-process from this machine. It's a great machine, kind of like a Swiss Army knife, and then you can build off of it, whether you want a spool gun, whether you want to TIG weld, whether you want to do whatever. But a Trailblazer is better than a Bobcat. A Trailblazer is a welder generator. A Bobcat is a generator that welds. These are the different processes it does do. Absolutely great machine. I have 50 foot of cable on the reels. I do have more cable. I just don't keep it on the reels. If I need more than that, I have more hanging in the nose of the trailer. I have my cylinders lined up along the wall here. I would like to get some brackets instead of running straps, because these kind of they're a pain in the butt trying to swap them out and finagle them. But honestly, this is a side job for me, so I'm not out there, burning a bottle or two of oxygen a day. So not a big deal. On the top here, I mounted I think it's a 50-foot extension cord, retractable reel. That was an eBay special. The reason I went with that was because it doesn't have an internal breaker. My one in the garage has a button here. You draw more than 10, 12 amps on it, it'll pop that, and then you're out. You got to go back here and climb up on my on a ladder and reset it. I knew I wanted to run a potentially like a 120 volt like MIG welder off of this. So I got the heavier gauge wire. I think it's 12 gauge if I'm not mistaken, and without the breaker I'm able to do that. It doesn't pop on you. I got a retractable hose reel. I believe that's a 50 foot as well. Quick connects for my Victor torch, super handy. Argon or mixed gas for a suitcase welder on here. Works really well. This is actually an air hose reel, but you can get a fitting right here to adapt the argon line to the air line, and you just plumb it in just like you would an airline. Also, I use quick connects on that, which correspond with my suitcase welder, as well as this one. And that one I mounted straight. Wouldn't have made sense to put on an angle, but these I made like V blocks. So when I'm out of the trailer, I can, you know, pull them straight out, and I'm not having to pull them at a 90-degree angle. I might use this track to lock stuff down. The other side of the trailer, I have a Harbor Freight toolbox. Got a junk drawer up here, catches miscellaneous stuff. That was supposed to be my air tools drill or air tool drawer, but I really don't use a lot of air tools, so it's not full yet. That drawer hardly gets open. Assortment of wrenches, Allen wrenches, pliers, dikes, abrasives. We sell, company I work for is Dyco Incorporated. We sell a bunch of Walter stuff. Walter's really good, but the CGW brand also sent me a bunch of samples, and they're really good as well. These wheels are, they call them a denim wheel because they're not hard, but they are awesome on aluminum. You can grind aluminum. I recommend checking those out. Down here, assortment of welding rods. Got some Hobart in there. I got some of my Dyco demo rods, right? That was an old ProStar box. One of my customers gave me that. Need your grinders. Keep an electric drill, even though I have a set of DeWalt drills. Annular cutters for mag-based drills. A nice kit I bought on eBay that has a lot of them. There's a drill bit kit. Plasma consumables, hammers, screwdriver. These guys, nice to have a kit like that. If you're not sure what size, you just pick the whole thing up and carry it out. Always need a hammer. Could probably use a bigger hammer in here from time to time. So yeah, that's the toolbox. It's a US General. I lagged it to the back wall, and I believe I lagged it to the floor. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But driving around, it's not an issue. Got a little vise here. I keep it pivoted this way. If I put stuff in here, I can usually shoot sparks out the back as opposed to in here. But 2 9/16 bolts, I can turn it to whatever direction I want. Paper towels usually go up there. I'm fresh out. This was my dad's drill press. I don't even know. I didn't need 2 in the garage, so it ended up in here. Basically, let me turn this. Keep the bench grinder out of the way, and the bench grinder is bolted to it, which is a little silly, but I'll use the bench grinder more than I use the drill press. So when I need to use the drill press, I simply back these nuts out, and I'm off and running. But when I'm not using, which is the majority of the time, it just sits here out of the way, and I still have plenty of workspace here to do whatever I need to do, fiddle with something or do some welding. Over here, Champion dual fuel generator. I took the gas tank off completely, and I had this electric air compressor that runs really well. It's 110 volt, and it's plugged into the generator below. The generator is electric start, and the generator runs off of propane. So I have another, what, 8100 amps, I think, or I'm sorry, 8100 amps, 8100 watts when I'm on propane. Mainly I use it for that, but if I wanted to run propane instead of running the Trailblazer in here, I have the ability to run this generator. I can run grinders and things off of that. I do have a pigtail made up here, so technically I could run, you know, I could run a stick welder off of that on 110 or 220, right? I could run a suitcase off of this, like a 12 VS or an arc reach feeder, and at the same time I could run another 110 or 220 MIG or stick welder. So I technically, depending on duty cycles and things like that, and how many amps I want to put out, I could technically have 3 machines going at the same time here. 3 guys welding, or 1 guy welding, 1 guy plasma cutting. So that's all strapped down. Works out really well. The back wall here, I just keep extra twin hose, extra ground clamps, and leads. This is all pretty much lead. There's an extra argon hose right there. I have this feeder, 75 series feeder, running off of a cable out the back to the 14 pin connector on the front of this. And the reason I do that is because when I drag this feeder out and I'm 50 foot away with this 50-foot cable, I can adjust not only my wire speed, which is typical, but I can adjust my heat right here. So I can change the heat of the welder with that through that cable, which is really cool. Dynasty. Got a Miller Dynasty 200 there. I don't keep the TIG rig and the foot pedal and everything hook up to it, but it's in the closet here. I'll show you guys that. I wanted a plasma cutter that wasn't going to break the bank. Didn't want to spend the money on a Hypotherm 45, so I ended up getting this Yes Welder 65 DS Pro, and I'm very impressed with it. I know it looks new. I've only used it twice, but really happy with it. The biggest thing with these cheap Chinese plasma cutters is what happens. The consumables are not near as heavy as a Hypotherm unit, so you burn through a lot more. You burn through consumables quicker, is what I'm trying to say. But all in all, for the money I paid, I think I paid, I want to say around 200 bucks, and I can cut 1/2 inch with that. I could cut thicker if I wanted to. Not going to be using it hard, but going to be using, I use it here and there. Other machine is a Weld Pro Omni 210. This machine is equivalent to a Millermatic 220. So it MIG welds, it stick welds, it TIG welds, and it TIG welds AC or DC. Has a foot pedal, TIG torch, everything comes with it. A fraction of the cost of a Miller. I'm a Miller rep. I'm a Weld Pro rep. They each have their own place as far as who you're selling them to or who needs them, whether it's a home hobbyist type person or whether it is someone that's going to be using it every day at a maintenance shop. You know what I mean? That's the big difference between that and a Miller machine. Got a Miller folding table if I need more room. Simply move this out, unstrap it off the wall. It's hanging right now. Take it out and I can work. Come-alongs. Got a 3/4 ton and then a little 1/4 ton. Great for drawing stuff in or pulling stuff. Pierre clamps, I got a couple of them. I wish I had way more than this, but they're amazing. Old Hypotherm 900, it's in here in storage. The Trailblazer does not have enough ass behind it to power that. Extension cords, this is a 50-foot extension cord for 220, and the same thing here is a 50-foot, or it might be a 25-foot extension cord that I made up for that, for the generator. Champion generator. Why do I unlock that? It's a nice cabinet. I bought that at flea market. Scratch and dent. Not perfect, but it works. So there's the TIG stuff. I keep brake cleaning here if I ever need to degrease something. Some rags, gloves, knee pads, ratchet straps, an extra welding helmet. That is a arc reach Miller feeder with a flex MIG gun. Not going to do any heavy welding, but the last job I did, I was welding on my back in a guy's wood stove and I had to weld inside the chimney, so I needed the different angles. Sawhorses, little 110 stick welder from Art Captain, which never gets used. Probably going to get rid of that, give it to somebody that needs it. Twin hose, extra parts for the Omni, extra leads in there, a MIG lead, different shit. And then down here I got a mag base drill, porta band saw, and a sawzall, a reciprocating saw. So that's it, guys. There's a grinding shield back here. So all in all, super happy with the trailer. If you guys have any questions, input, things I'm doing dumb, things I should try, let me know. One thing I would like to do, and a couple guys commented on the first video, or at least one guy did, is this exhaust sucks in here. Ideally, I'd like to bring it maybe back and then down the floor there and run it out the way it's under here. Because I mean, even without the exhaust, pump it in here. I mean, it gets hot with the exhaust, obviously. Plus, you have to worry about carbon monoxide. I do open this, and I'm not usually working in the trailer. I'm usually in and out of the trailer. But I think it would help with some of the heat. So anyways, that's the trailer. Here's what she looks like. I'm on the fence about lettering it up. Like I said, it's a side gig. I work a full-time, need some grease on that, man. I work a full-time job, so this is a side job when I get time, which is few and far between. But I don't know, I'm hesitant to put name and number and welding and all that stuff on the side, just because people driving by, one, it might make me busier than I want to be, or busier than I can handle at this point. And also, if people know there's welding supplies in here, might have an issue with, someone trying to steal my shit, which would not be cool. So anyway, thanks for checking it out. Give me a like, comment, subscribe, comment, be constructive, don't be a dick. All right, guys, God bless everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks, peace out.